Dinner for shoes, please.
Wait, what do I look like? It doesn't really matter what I look like in the pods.
Hi, welcome to my pod. Welcome to an episode of Dinner for Shoes. I am so excited because we have an episode on Love is Blind, which is like kind of a dream for me. I decided to create a situation where like I am in the pods. And this is what my pod would look like. And this is exactly what I would wear if I was in the pods. I will say that's the other thing is that my cats wouldn't be in the pod, but oh well, at least Kit's not taking away from the sign too much. For today's episode, which focuses on Love is Blind, we talked to Vanessa Boreland, we, meaning me and the cats. So I talked to Vanessa Boreland, who is a cast member of Love is Blind season 8. We talked about a lot of things. Of course, we hyper-focused on the fashion and choosing an outfit for your reveal, an outfit for your interview. I learned so much about what you wear at all the different times of Love is Blind, how the Netflix production team like recommends that you pack, how many suitcases they pay for. Oh my God, I would totally have to be adding extra suitcases if I was going to Love is Blind. I really connected with Vanessa and I hope that she continues on her journey to find love. This episode does kind of just answer a lot of questions that you as a viewer may have about Love is Blind in general, which is why I was so excited to work on this episode, right? Let's start with the outfit behind the shoes so I can talk about why I'm wearing the things I'm wearing and why this would be my outfit in the pods. Because especially with the shoe, there's kind of like a little romantic story there. I will say, let's start with, well, I have my emotional support water bottle because of course I would have that in the pods. I'd also probably have a bag of Stacey's Trips, just saying. I wouldn't drink wine, but like I would definitely like dabble in alcohol, but I would also be like super hyper conscious about the fact that the person across from me can only hear my voice and not see me. So like, what if I said something that was kind of like a drunken accident, but then they didn't see my face and oh my God, I don't know. That would just be so intense. I don't think Love is Blind is the show for me, but all right, let's start with the blanket, which is by Naturepedic. Nick and I both have, which is another reason why I have my blanket here because we both have like these really cute thermal blankets and they have our initials on them. So mine has S and Nick's has N. What did you expect? Something else? I also feel like this is the way the cast members of Love is Blind when they're in the pods kind of like sit there. So like, I'm going to sit here like this because it's comfy and cozy. Okay. I also want to talk about Bear Paw, which this is the retro super shorty in hickory. Obsessed with these. I wear them all the time. And to be honest, if I was on Love is Blind, this is exactly what I would be wearing. I'd be wearing something comfortable. I asked Nick, like, what do you think that I would wear? And he was like, I think you'd wear sneakers, your Adidas sneakers with the red stripes and low-rise jeans and a crop top. And I was like, that is what I would wear on like a sexier feel-good day, which Vanessa and I talked about the difference between like a comfortable outfit versus a dress-up day, which if you watch Love is Blind, you know that the cast members do have both. They dabble in both areas, right? And like if they think maybe they're getting proposed to, they, don't wear Uggs. But anyway, let me talk about Bear Paw, okay? I actually have to pull it up so I can kind of read to you the story of how the founder decided to create Bear Paw. And it's kind of like a romantic meet cute situation between the founder and a bear, which reminds me of Love is Blind because like love, whatever. So in 2001, Tom Romeo, who was the founder of Bear Paw, was searching for a sign that would help him choose between his two passions. Like many people, Tom has a special spot that is his happy place where he finds time to meditate and listen to nature. While sitting on the special rock located on the shores of Lake Tahoe, a massive bear suddenly paused a short ways away from him, stared directly at him for a moment, and decided to move along without any confrontation. This magical experience had to be some sort of sign, inspired Tom to seek out the meaning of this encounter. Tom soon learned that a bear crossing is viewed by many as a sign of good luck, and while symbolizing strength, the bear serves as a guide for many at an impasse. All doubt had gone away for Tom, and he knew this was an opportunity to start his shoe company, founded on this great animal with the name Bear Paw, as an homage to his chance meeting with that bear in Tahoe. Shortly after, the very first Bear Paw boot style was created called Eva. Since then, the Eva has evolved into the L boot and is still the most popular shoe style in the company's collection. Okay, so I'm obsessed with this pair. I also have one with a really cool embroidered trim, but these are the ones that I definitely wear the most. I feel like they go with most of my outfits. I also will wear them if like I'm going to solid core and I have just like my grippy socks on and I don't need to wear sneakers. These are definitely a comfortable shoe. I'm obsessed. I'm also wearing my marble separates. I have worn a similar marble blouse in black, I think for the Valentine's Day episode, and potentially also the skirt that goes with it. I have 2 sets from Marble and they are a sustainable brand. I do want to talk about them a bit too. I also just felt like, just because in this season of Love is Blind, we did see like a political conversation happening. Obviously, if I was in the pods, I'd be very upfront and open about like my values and of course the fact that I love fashion. And I feel like the idea of sustainability and obviously like being eco-friendly would come up in the pod. So I was like, all right, I am going to wear something that's like sustainable. I just love Marble as a brand because they really value sustainability and inclusivity. They have extended sizes in their clothing. Also, because one of the ways that they address mass production is by creating seasonless pieces, which I think is like something in the fashion industry that often gets glossed over. When a company is just focusing on seasonless pieces instead of like being like, oh, we're sustainable, we try to use this percentage of regenerative materials, but you know, we're coming out with a summer, a fall, a winter, and a spring collection, right? So this company just wants to create basics that can stay in your wardrobe year round, and they want to make sure that the pieces are quality as well, so that not only are they worth the investment and they can stay in your wardrobe year round, but you won't have a problem with them, an issue, that they're well made, nothing will rip, etc. They use silk, linen, and cotton in their size inclusive clothing. Their sizes range from extra, extra small to 4XL. They also have a wide range of colors. So for every set they make, they try to do a wide range. Their tailors are based in the UAE and China. They have a head tailor in Dubai. And they also note that each tailor is being paid up to 40% of the total price for each garment. Fair wages, very important. I think a lot of people look into that when they're looking for how sustainable is the brand that I'm shopping. And they are very upfront about the fact that they're not perfect when it comes to sustainability. Around 70% of their fabrics are made of natural, organic, regenerated, or recycled fibers. Their goal for last year was to reach 90%. So they're upfront about the fact that it is a process. And you can read all about their production updates to 2025 as well. You can see pictures of their team on the site, which I also love. And there's a note from their founder, Camilla. So I really love this brand as well. I'm also wearing my Bertani double hoop earrings, which we talked about in the Wealth of a Woman episode. I love these because they're two-tone, a little silver, a little gold. I thought that was kind of symbolic because when it comes to Love is Blind, it's like you may be adapting to something in someone that you haven't looked for in a partner before, but you are willing to make room for it. I'm willing to make room for silver next to my gold. Okay. Now let me talk a little bit about Vanessa as a person. Vanessa is awesome. I connected with her instantly. She is a ballerina and a media planner. I kind of like connected with her on that level because we're both familiar with the media. And she says that she was very used to being attracted to the physical qualities about someone. So Love is Blind kind of forced her to shift focus, okay? I would like you to, well, actually, no. Actually, that would be like the issue with the people in my pod. Like they'd be like, this girl can't make up her mind on what she wants to talk about. We'd be like playing a game like Scrabble. And I'd be like, actually, let's play Bananagram. Does anyone know? Does anyone know what I'm talking about? It's like all word games. Okay, no. So I created some notes that I have about Love is Blind, related to this season, related to how I feel about Love is Blind in general. Nick and I watch it religiously together. We really love it. I actually think that Love is Blind is the reality show that got Nick into dating reality shows. He now loves Love Island. I do too, but I don't know if I love it quite as much as him. So it's, we watch the show together. And one of my favorite things about watching Love is Blind with Nick, Love Island too, but mostly Love is Blind, is, we'll watch a couple talking on the screen or in their pods before they even become like a couple. And we will like pause and be like, how do you feel about this? Or what would you do in this scenario? One of the things that, happens often in many seasons of Love is Blind is like the conversation about cheating and past relationships comes up. And the one person will be like, I did cheat in my past relationship. And then I say to Nick, like, would you be out? Like, would you be like, this person's not for me? And like, we both agree that we would be out. I guess I don't want to just use like a corny summed up quote that everyone uses, but I kind of do believe in once a cheater, always a cheater. So I think that I'd be out. So anyway, that's just an example of like the topics that Nick and I will like pause the show and talk about. So like, let's say the episode is 40 minutes. Like, no, for us, it's like an hour and 40 minutes because we talk during it. I also think what's interesting, and you know, you'll hear from Vanessa, you will see if you've watched the first 6 episodes that dropped or further, that Vanessa doesn't get a lot of screen time. And I think it's very interesting. Something to consider that you might not have considered before, which you might now after listening to my conversation with Vanessa, is just how the producers choose which couples they want to spend time on and which like scenarios and relationships they want to follow. And I do feel like it could be interesting to see some of the relationships or the conversations that didn't result in getting engaged. I know they don't have a lot of time, but like speaking of time, I also felt like this season specifically, they spent so much time in the pods. And normally it's like by the 2nd episode, we're like already on vacation. So it's like, what? Like, I thought that was really interesting. And I think like there were clearly other relationships developing. Some of the cast members have already come out and said like, oh yeah, my partner was talking to so-and-so at the time, but we didn't see any of that development. And I feel like it's, I don't know, it could be good, it could be bad. There are probably pros and cons to it, obviously. I'm not a Netflix producer, but I'm just saying like, I would have liked to see some of Vanessa's conversations. I would have liked to see some of the other women or men in the pods, their conversations. I also would like to see a Love is Blind where there are queer people, where there are people with disabilities, where there is a heck of a lot more diversity, but that's a conversation for another episode. Is it though? Is it though? Because it's really not. And I think that that's like important to note. And it's something that if you are following the conversation on TikTok, you will hear a lot of people, probably X as well, or whatever, Reddit, people talking about that, that they don't feel like there's a lot of diversity in this season. Why is there not more time spent on so-and-so's relationship instead of this couple's relationship? And it causes you to think, right? So I just hope that like the Netflix producers are looking at all the feedback and taking it in for next season. Vanessa and Nick. Vanessa, not Vanessa Boreland, who I interviewed, Vanessa Lachey. Nick also, I will just say this, Nick always says, what does he use? Nick Lachey, he always says like Nick Cannon. He always just like, whenever Nick Lachey is like up on the screen, he uses a different Nick in Hollywood. And he's like, oh, it's Nick so-and-so. Like, oh, it's Nick Cage. And I'm like, what? Like he's trying to make me laugh, but like it doesn't make me laugh, but that's Nick. Okay. Now some of the other things I learned from my conversation with Vanessa, which you're about to learn, and I'm going to like tease, is yes, it was an issue a while ago where they were like, do the Love is Blind cast members even get fed? Do they eat? Vanessa was like, yeah, they fucking eat. They have fun cooking together in the pods. There's like a whole area where they can cook. And I personally thought that, I forget what couple had the sushi this season, but it looked so good. It made me crave sushi instantly, although I'm always craving sushi. Another thing I thought that was interesting is that they have, and this is just like a spoiler to my interview, but that they have one outfit established for the interviews, and every time they have to go in to interview with the camera crew, like if they're, let's say they were just on a date and they're like, oh, we need to ask you some questions about that date, they have to put back on that outfit. So I thought that was interesting too, and like also kind of weird, and all of like the background happenings of production are just super interesting. Love is Blind pays for 2 suitcases and the rest is on you. I thought that was interesting. Vanessa said that she brought like 3 different dresses as potential reveal dresses. You'll hear her talk a little bit more about that. But basically she said that like all the girls choose which reveal dress they want to wear based on the vibe of the person they end up choosing. And it's like, you don't even really know that person's whole vibe because you're not with them in person. And there's so much more to a vibe, in my opinion, when you're with someone in person, but that's just my opinion. I also will say that we're going to talk a little bit more after you go listen to the interview with Vanessa, but one of the things Vanessa said is just how all of the women became such good friends. And I was thinking about it and I was like, if I was on Love is Blind and I was in a situation like Vanessa where my conversations didn't get as much airtime or didn't get, really tracked as much, I would be so happy and so grateful that I found these like incredible women that I became close with. I think I might almost appreciate that more than the romantic love because I am always someone who has valued my friendship, my sisterhood love, just as much as romantic love. I will always be like that. So I think that that's really neat. And Vanessa did say that this group of women really connected. So I just love that. Go ahead and take a listen to my interview with Vanessa Boreland and find out all the answers to the questions you might have about Love is Blind. And then we're going to try Vanessa's favorite food and talk a little bit more about Love is Blind when we come back. Let's talk about your journey with Love is Blind. Were you a fan of the show? And maybe how did you decide you wanted to be on? Let's start there.
Yeah, absolutely. So no, I was not really a fan of the show. Like I knew the concept. I don't think I had ever actually watched like a full episode until I started the casting process.
Oh, wow.
So that was like, I don't know, once I started watching it, I was like, oh, so this is what the show is about that I'm like possibly be on. But as far as like the application process goes, my mom actually, I love telling this story. She's like, please stop telling people the story. But I'm like, I'm going to keep telling it. My mom actually started the application for me because she was like adamant, like you need to go on the show. Like this would be perfect for you. Like you're not having any luck, dating more traditionally. So like, let's try something different. I was like, Mom, no, I'm like not going to do it, but I finished it and here we are.
That's amazing. I really love that too. Cause it's like the people who know you best know what actually might be a good experience for you,
Absolutely.
And you are a media planner and a ballerina. So what do you think about your application? I don't even know how the application process works, but why do you think the producers were attracted to you as a cast member for this show?
Yeah, I think maybe for me, I just have like such a diverse background of like hobbies and interests, and I'm just like always trying to do something new. And so I think that makes for either like an easy match with somebody or also like a very difficult match with somebody because I have so many different interests and like things I'm passionate about. But yeah, I think that's why maybe they chose to put me on the show. And also I just think I was very much genuine about like, here are my intentions. Like, I really want to find like my person. And like, hopefully this can help me do it. So
yeah, you seem very genuine. So I'm sure that that's had something to do with it. You could just tell when you start talking to a person,
I appreciate that. Thank you.
So you were also genuine about the fact that like physical attraction has always been important to you. And you kind of, I assume, had to retrain yourself and shift your mindset. So how was that for you? Did any emotions come into play?
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely difficult and also just like crazy because you're like, okay, I'm having like real feelings for this person I've never seen. Like, I don't know what they look like. I don't know how tall they are. I don't know what color their hair. Like, I know nothing about them. And yet I feel like I know this person and I'm like having real feelings for this person. And it's a crazy experience. But yeah, I definitely had to like lean more into like, what exactly is this person saying and what do they mean by it, and not get distracted by just like pretty packaging. So
did you develop a system? Like, I don't really know what people are writing in their notebooks or how people develop a system at first when they're going through the pods and they're going through date after date, but were there like specific red flags that you learned to look for, or like what was your system and approach?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I'm a pretty decent judge of character, like right off the bat. So there were definitely moments where somebody would say something and I'd be like, ooh, no, like I just know in my mind, in my heart, like this is just not the person for me. But like when I did start getting down to it, like the people I did really like and start talking to, like I had a I had a star system and I just like kept putting stars next to people I liked. And at one point somebody had like I was like, okay, like 5 stars has gotta be the max, right? And then at like some point I was like, I have like 8 stars by your name. I don't know what this system is anymore, but I'm just gonna keep going with it. So
I absolutely love that. I can't wait to see if I can tell who your 8-star person was. I don't know if it's going to be in the show, but I'm excited.
yeah. Yeah.
Now, okay, so just having looked at your Instagram, I can tell that you are a stylish person. Like you like to put together a good outfit. In the past, I guess, has fashion ever played a part in your dating life? Like, was there ever a time you were on a date maybe and you were just like, no, like this person can't put an outfit together? And then tell us like a little bit about how you chose what wardrobe to bring to Love is Blind.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, for me, as far as like dates and clothing in person, I feel like for the most part, the guys I've dated have been pretty good. I think the thing I noticed most frequently is like, okay, what shoes are you wearing? And like, are they good? I don't know, like, do I like your shoes? But that's pretty much it. I mean, for the most part, you know, guys are jeans and a shirt. So like there's not a ton to go off of. As far as like getting ready for the pots though, that was so difficult. Like because you don't really know what to bring, what to expect, and like you don't know how far in the process you're gonna make it. So it's like, do I pack like I'm going on the vacation? Do I bring my final reveal dress? And like you obviously you bring all of that, but it's like, how do I even decide what those pieces are gonna be? So it was definitely a lot of trying on, taking pictures, sending them to my mom, sending them to my friends, sending them to my producer, like, hey, is this good? But yeah, it was fun preparing for it too. But like I definitely got to go shopping, which was fun for me. So
yeah, of course. So is that kind of how it works? Like they pair you up with a producer and then the producer kind of gives you tips, like you might want to pack the dress for your reveal. Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they give you a producer and they'll give you guidance as far as like, you know, you're gonna need an outfit for like your day one and your press photos and all that. So like the orange dress I was wearing, and then they're like, you're gonna need a specific outfit for your interviews. So anytime you do like a little interview session during the show. And then so reveal dress. And if you're going on vacation, bring your swimsuit. So they do give you a little bit of guidance, even as far as like, oh, wear these colors, like stay away from these colors. But beyond that, like you're kind of just like, I don't know what vibe am I going for? Like, am I going to be more casual? Am I going to dress up most days? Like that's completely up to you. And that was difficult.
I feel like I would need like 42 suitcases.
No, yeah, I had two. Two is what production would pay for.
Okay.
They were like, you can bring as many suitcases as you want, but after two, like that's your responsibility. So I figured how to fit everything into two, but there was a moment where I was like, I might need 3.
Yeah, for sure. When you were actually like I know sometimes if people have like a late night date, sometimes even we as viewers don't know what time of day the date is. But I know sometimes people are like, oh, I'm gonna be cozy and wear like sweatpants. Did you find that when you were in an outfit that you loved or that made you feel confident, like you felt better on the date?
I think so. I know like for sure, especially like night versus day dates. And this is maybe a tell for the show as you're watching. If my hair is up at any point, that means it was a night date. That means it was a night date. I always have my hair down during the daytime. And if it was up, that means it was at night. So a little tell if people are curious. But yeah, I mean, I definitely felt really confident in like a really cute outfit. I mean, I feel like all the outfits I packed up were like very cute. There were some days I decided to go more casual for my dates and for just like hanging out in the lounge. And then there were some days where I was like, I'm going to do a mini dress and stilettos and I'm going to do the whole thing. So it was really very much
like
kind of how it felt. Yeah, but it was really fun.
I love that. I feel like I would have so much fun pairing up like my outfit with the guy I was going to go on a date with. Like,
yes, absolutely. I mean, I know for sure there was a guy who we had kind of talked about our kind of our farm kid interests.
Okay.
And so I know I was wearing like my Carhartt pants one day, and I like told him when I went on that date, and I was like, well, I specifically wore them because I knew I was going to be talking to you today. So things like that.
I love that. I love that. Now I know like no spoilers or anything, but I guess let's talk about the big reveal moment and how fashion plays a part in that. Like, were there any conversations happening with the other women in the pods about, oh, like, I know that I want to wear this dress during the big reveal? How important is that I just got engaged outfit to everyone on the show?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that was like the first thing when I like found out I was going on the show, or like in the process where it was like getting pretty close to be like, okay, I think this is a sure thing. Like that was the number one thing I started shopping for. I was like, I have to find whatever this reveal dress is going to be, because I mean, this is the first time you're seeing somebody that you have spent so long building a relationship with. And like you, I mean, love is blind, right? But you still want them to see you and be like, wow, like, oh my gosh.
Right.
So yes, the reveal dress was super important. I know several girls, myself included, who had like a few options. And we were gonna, you know, kind of decide on the vibe of, or well, for me, it was like I'm gonna decide on the vibe of the person that I'm gonna end up with, and like maybe try to anticipate like the kind of dress they might like to see me in. So yeah, it was really fun though.
I love that. And you also, I guess, want to feel like the best version of yourself when you're meeting the person. So yeah, so of course you're going to pack like the things that you love and consider that for that moment. Since we're also a food podcast, I do want to ask about the food, because I know that was a whole thing like a while back where they were like, oh, they're not eating enough on this show. And then I think I saw like you posted something or reposted something about making fettuccine Alfredo. So like, tell us about the food situation in the pods. Maybe even you can even talk about like a meal later on that you had. Whatever. What is the food situation like?
Absolutely. No, that's such a valid question. And that's something my mom, as I was going through the process, that she was just doing her due diligence everywhere. And all of a sudden she's like, oh my gosh, this story says like nobody has food. And I was like, Mom, that was like 5 years ago.
Yeah.
We're good. And yes, we were so good. Like we had any snack you could ask for, any beverage you could, like if you just asked for it, like production, they'd go find it and they'd bring it to you. We had all meals, breakfast, lunch, dinner. They weren't always at breakfast, lunch, and dinner time, but you know, we had them. We had a few days where some of the girls would like cook in the lounge, which was really great. Oh, nice. Brittany, who we see on the show, is an amazing chef. I die for her food, so that's really fun. Yeah, there was a day where we did like a dinner date with your person. Dinner date, lunch, breakfast. So kind of depending on the day that you had your date with your person, and you could request like one thing that like you really wanted that you haven't had access to in the pods yet. And so I remember my date was a breakfast one, and I was like, God, I just need a Starbucks cold brew so bad. Like I just need a cold brew. And I was really amped to get a cold brew that day. So
I love that. That would be me too. Or like I would want sushi. Like I just crave takeout sushi all the time.
It's hilarious because that was our second choice. Like me and this person are like, okay, it depends on like what time we get to go on our date. If it's a breakfast date, we're gonna do breakfast and you're gonna get your Starbucks. And if it's a dinner or lunch date, we're doing sushi. So
I love that. That's so great. Okay, so do you have a fashion philosophy? Let's just talk about like your personal style in life. Maybe it's related to what you do in your job and being in media, or, you know, maybe it's just something that you've always had or said about clothing. And do you feel like it evolved at all after being on the show?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, my whole life, I mean, I'm a very active person. Like I'm a very astrology centered person. And I know like as a Sagittarius, like comfort is everything, like movable, active clothing, especially with like my hobbies, like with horses and with dance. Like I've always been a very comfort over everything type person. But I like to dress up. I like to go out, and especially like leaving the show, I definitely feel like my personal style has developed. Like going there, I got to wear outfits that I'm like, I would not normally wear this outfit somewhere. But like I'm on a television show, so like let's step it up a little bit. And it was really fun. And so coming out of that, I feel like I'm definitely more confident to like wear pieces like that and try to like have one like statement piece. I fall down the TikTok rabbit holes of like how to dress for your sun sign, your rising sign, your Venus sign, like whatever. And so I'm a Sag Venus, and they're like, you should always have like one very bold like piece on you. So that's what I've been trying to incorporate into my style.
I love that. And I love that the show kind of affected it for you, because I wasn't even expecting you to say that, but that's really interesting.
Yeah. No, it absolutely. Like I left it and I feel like I just had like a whole different idea. And I took a lot of inspiration from like the other girls on the show too.
Yeah.
So, like, wow, that's a cute outfit. Like I would have never thought to like put that together. But now I'm gonna go home and try it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I also just to stop and say, well, first of all, my best friend is a Sag too, but also, I do feel like it's so important, like the connections that you make with the other women, and I feel like that's not even what everyone takes away from this show, because it's all about the drama of does the couple work out, but. Yeah. It is like that could be, at least in my opinion, even more rewarding than finding romantic love. So I feel for you. Like, I hope that you have a strong connection with everyone. That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it was unique to our season. It's like the girls are very close to each other. We're still all really close to each other. And I know that hasn't always been the case, and definitely isn't the case with most reality TV shows. Like there's always a lot of drama, especially between women. So it was really just refreshing that everybody was like so supportive of each other and just like really kind to each other. And we're all still pretty close with each other. So that's really nice.
That's amazing. And one of the things, I mean, I know, again, no spoilers, but one of the things that everyone, like the women do as a group, is go shopping for the wedding dresses. So just in your opinion, if you can talk about it generally, you know, a lot of women spend so much time looking for their dress. They go to place after place. And this is always the one episode for me where I'm like, I'm such a fashion person. I could never just pick out my dress in one day in front of all these people. So what, I guess, is your personal opinion or point of view on that episode and that day and experience?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm like 100% with you, like making a decision like that on a piece of clothing that is going to be like such an important part of your life, like that, and making that decision in one day is like insane. But at the same time, like the entire process is like you're making a decision to marry somebody after knowing them for 2 weeks. Like, so it's all just like this condensed process, but it is still like, it's mind blowing. It's really insane.
That's so true, though. I guess it's kind of like, if you're in it, you're in it. So you're going to go through the process the way it's meant to be. It is what it is. Well, let's talk a little bit more just big picture. My last few questions are just like kind of like zoomed out and looking at Love is Blind as a whole. Obviously, reality TV can be intense. Like, we are already seeing people making TikToks about all these different, like, villainizing people. We're just falling in love with people. How do you think you are about to handle this? What are you feeling inside right now? Are you nervous? Are you like, this is chill? Like, what do you feel?
Yeah. I mean, now that I've already seen a few episodes and I've got the idea of like what story they're going to tell, I'm content now. I was so anxious this week because I was like, God, I don't know what to expect. From people online, like so far, everybody has been just like very kind to me and very supportive. Like I have not seen very many like bad takes about me personally. So I'm like, this has been really nice. It's exciting. I hope this continues once, you know, more people watch the show, because they're just making this judgment based on, you know, the cast photos that came out, like a few clips, my Instagram, like that kind of stuff. So I just hope like the love and support continues. But for the most part, now that the day has actually come, it's like, okay, I think it was the anticipation that was
Yeah.
like the scariest part of everything.
Since like your picture has been released and your name has been out there, have your Instagram followers just been like climbing like every time you pick up your phone?
They do, yeah. They grow pretty much every single day. I will say, like, that first day that the cast list dropped and all our photos came out and everything, like, I gained like 1,000 followers in a day, which was like nuts to me. Cause I was like, you guys, you haven't even seen the show. Like, you don't even know who I am or what I'm like. Like, I could be the worst, like, whatever. But I think it's crazy. People just want to keep up with you immediately. So it's really cool.
100%. And then now having been through this experience, obviously there are so many dating shows out there. Some of them are more serious. Some of them are more like lighthearted, but it's a thing and it's happening. And we hear about new dating shows, new twists on dating shows all the time. And then on the other hand, like you have dating apps and you have that way of dating. What do you feel like is going to be our future of dating? Do you feel like this is a trend that's going to be like a thing for a little while and we'll look back on it in a few years and be like, remember when everyone was on those dating shows? And, you know, like, what are your thoughts about the future of it?
Absolutely. No, I think the dating shows will always be a thing. I mean, like it started with like The Bachelor and it just keeps going. Like there's always a new one. I think people like love is so fascinating to most people and it really does take up like a majority of our lives. So I think dating shows will always be a thing. I don't think most people will find a match on dating shows. I think we will still continue to have to use the apps, but I don't think they're going anywhere. I think we're going to see a lot more of them. Hopefully more Love is Blind, but yeah, I think they're here to stay.
I think definitely more Love is Blind. I feel like it really does. Like you said, it doesn't happen for everyone, but when you get those couples that it does happen for, it honestly provides hope. Like it even provides, like I have a boyfriend, it provides hope for me because I think like we all want other people to find their person, you know?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally. I agree.
So are you feeling like excited or anxious now about the episodes dropping?
I'm feeling excited. I'm feeling excited. I'm glad they're all out there. I am eager to see like the rest of the season because of course like we only have 6 today, so we'll see what else happens. But I'm just glad like the first part of it is out there. That anticipation, that like stress, anything you're experiencing, you're kind of like, okay, I can let go of that now because you can't change anything at this point.
Absolutely.
So you just have to go with it.
Yeah. And finally, with or without spoilers, what are you excited for in the next chapter of your life? Like you went on this show, your mom signed you up. What's next for you?
Yeah, I think for me personally, I'm just excited to see like, I don't know, just where this goes, like where this journey goes for me and for the people I was on the show with and like my friends I made from it. Like, I'm just really excited to see what happens in the next phase of everybody's life. I told a friend this week that I was like, gosh, I am just so curious to see what my life is going to look like 6 months from now. Like, it's just, you have really no idea where this is going to go, but I'm grateful for the opportunity and I think it'll be really fun. I didn't realize like I said, before I started getting casted for the show, like I wasn't really familiar with it. But then during the process, while we were filming, after we were filming, like 2 other seasons had come out in the process. And then I started to realize like, oh, this is a big deal. Like people love this show. Like people really care about this show. So I'm just curious to see like what comes of being a participant here.
Yeah.
So
Well, I'm so excited for you. I'm excited for everyone to get to know you because you're awesome, having just talked to you for a little while. I'm going to be watching the episodes tonight. We have dinner and then we're just going to watch Love is Blind because we're both obsessed with it. Hi, I hope that you enjoyed my conversation with Vanessa. I learned so much about her and I just seriously wish her the best. As an ode to her and a thank you for coming on Dinner for Shoes, as you know, I always try my guests' favorite food. Vanessa's favorite food is Indian food, and she named a specific restaurant in Minneapolis, which is just fitting since this season of Love is Blind was filmed in Minneapolis. It's called Darbar. I decided there is a place called KAFE in Hoboken, which we order from often, and it's always very spicy for me. Indian food, really spicy for me. I'm not sure why, because I could deal with some spice I can't. Trish is here, kid's like looking, okay. But what I wanted to do was try the samosas. This is their number 3 top most popular item. And I got chicken and I got veggie. And I don't think I know how to tell. Actually, I think this one's chicken because there's some cilantro, which don't like cilantro. I'm going to try both of them, okay? And I'm not going to try the spices as much as like I would like to. Maybe I should just like take a picture of this. Yeah. You know what? We'll take a picture with the spices, even though that's such a lie because I'm not going to eat the spices. They really don't agree with me. I don't know. Okay, but we'll include in the picture. And spicy. Okay, let me get a picture. And then I want to talk a little bit more as well about Love is Blind and some of the cast members. I was going to say characters, but it's a reality show, right? All right, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to, cilantro, get off my fork. I'm going to try it. I'm going to see which one is spicy, which one's not. I'm going to remove the sauces just because I'm a little nervous. And I'm going to talk about which one's my favorite. I also should probably get a knife. I think I should get a knife. But should I get a knife? Because I'm me. And we know that like I eat with my hands sometimes. Oh, yes. Okay. Oh, this actually looks so good. And I just wish that this isn't spicy for me. Let's see. It's actually not that spicy. This is the chicken one. All right, we're going to try it. It is a little spicy. I'm not going to lie. We're going to try it like this. The dough that's made with is so good. I would love to eat the outside. The inside is also good. It is a little dry. I think that's what the sauce probably helps with, but let's see if this one's spicy. Yeah, that's not spicy. Let's just like dip it and see. Wow. This is so good. I think I can get from KAFE again. I think I know what the issue is, and it's that I always order something else, like my main dish that's too spicy, and then Nick and I always get the samosas, and I'm like, oh my God, it's so spicy. How is that spicy? And then I'm not realizing that it's what I ordered that was spicy. And that doesn't agree with me. I'm going to see if I like the vegetable one more or less, though. I love how I didn't get up and get a knife. If I was in the pods, I wouldn't have any access to a knife. This one looks good. Oh, like the potato in there. Oh, yeah. That is delicious. Wow. Really good. I think I like the potato one, the veggie one, more than I like the chicken one. Oh, yeah. That is so good. Okay. Is mommy making a mess? Is mommy making a mess like always? This is so good, and I'm so glad that Vanessa challenged me to get Indian food where I could just taste the samosas and not whatever it was that I ordered that was too spicy for me. Now, the one other thing that I did want to say is that Madison, who is a well-known cast member on season 8, she probably has the closest style to me out of everyone on the show. So I did go on her Instagram, and I'm like cleaning up after myself, and I looked at I looked at her profile, and I did one of the looks that she wore in the pods that I actually really liked, but I was like, I would never be wearing that, is the lime green blazer that she wore, and she wore it with like heeled booties, like heeled leather boots. Like it was so cute, but I was like, dude, I would literally be like, I would not be wearing makeup. I would literally be, my shoes would be off. My bare paw shoes would be off. It would be like, so like, you know, and I just give her a lot of props for wearing that. But what I wanted to say is that I clicked on the blazer because I was like, oh, I wonder if she tags like her brands. And I found that she shared the name of the thrift store where she got this blazer. It's called You Thrifty Bitch, and it's in Minneapolis. So for anyone who lives in Minneapolis and is watching this Love is Blind episode just because you want to find out, shop at You Thrifty Bitch because it looks really cool. I was like checking it out. It looks awesome. And I also just want to say that they obviously all all the girls did like a photo shoot, or the girls who were close friends. And I was looking at it and it was so cute. And Madison captioned a picture of all 4 of them like eating cake, just being like, really did find love in the pods. And I think that that's so special. And it just kind of goes to show that at the end of the day, something that I touched on in my conversation with Vanessa, it's not just about finding that romantic love, finding the cat love. It's also about finding the cat love. If you can find a cat that you really connect with and they will talk to you in the pods, oh, that's everything. That's everything. Anyway, we love you. We're going to be here with our samosas now that we know we can eat them and they're not too spicy. I hope that you enjoy the rest of the season of Love is Blind. Watch this space. We'll be back soon. Bye.